Hello and welcome back. Today we will address the rotator cuff. There are so many people with rotator cuff injuries today, from poor posture to sports, a lot of throwing, tennis, if you paint, if your arms are out in front of you, if they're up above you, anything like that, repetitive stress syndromes, repetitive strain. You can use a self-massage for the rotator cuff. So the rotator cuff is a group of 4 muscles which sort of form a sleeve around the head of the humerus, that ball and socket joint, because that socket isn't really helpful. It's sort of like a plate more than a bowl. And so the head of the humerus is just like right there. And so we need those muscles to help get that bone and stabilize it, stabilize that head of the humerus in the glenoid fossa, which is that socket joint. And if our shoulders are sort of out of alignment and the bone starts moving kind of wonky, you can get all kinds of injuries and tears, and even, forceful if you pick up something too heavy, if you throw something really forcefully, all of that can create quite a mess in the rotator cuff. There is a 5th muscle, the biceps long head tendon. Well, it's the tendon that connects to the muscle right in the front here. Now, it's not technically part of the rotator cuff, but it is often diagnosed as a rotator cuff injury if that is the problem there, just because it's so close. So today we're going to massage each of the rotator cuff muscles, and this could be a great preventative approach for you, just to keep your shoulders healthy and long and mobile. Or if you do have an injury or it's been achy, maybe you'll be better able to locate the specific area that is hurting or tender, or might have a little bit of an injury, and you can work on that area specifically. So we will start with just warming up the shoulders. So just squeeze the deltoids, squeeze the traps, and just get it nice and warm. You can make circles. Make sure you're sitting up nice and straight. We need the shoulders in alignment if we're going to do rotator cuff work. If we're going to be hunched over, it's not going to do much good. So nice and straight. You want those shoulders over the rib cage, neck over the shoulders, head over the neck. You can squeeze and pull up and down. Grab the upper traps. You can hold it and take a deep breath. Relaxing the shoulders down on the exhale. Find another place, grab it, deep breath in. Exhale, relaxing the shoulders more. And just roll them out and shake them out, making sure they're nice and relaxed. So the first muscle is called supraspinatus. It's a fancy name, but it just means supra, above, spinatus, the spine of the scapula. And your scapula is this triangle bone on the back. See? That big triangle bone. And you'll feel it. It's this flat kind of bone. And if you bring your fingers towards the top of it, you're going to feel a ridge, and you can even see it on me, I think. The spine of the scapula, that's the spine. It goes right across the top of the scapula, and there's a sort of indentation right over that, and that is your supraspinatus. So find that spine of the scapula, go right over it, and rest your fingers in, and you will feel supraspinatus. And you can start going back and forth. It's not very big a space, but just do what feels good. You don't want any pain here, no pain. If it feels a little tender, if it feels a little tight, that's fine. Just make sure you're getting a nice release and that it all feels good. We're trying to alleviate pain, not cause it. You can sort of move the tissue back and forth, maybe fan it out towards the shoulder, lengthening. If there's a direction it doesn't want to move, you can just hold it. Say it doesn't want to go inward. You see how I'm moving all the tissue. Say it doesn't want to go that way, just hold it and wait for it to release. Take a deep breath, and maybe it'll release today and maybe it won't. Maybe it'll do it next time. Maybe it'll do it the time after that. But you keep practicing and your body will thank you. Now, if you want to add a little bit of active movement, which I love, you can hold that muscle, supraspinatus, and you can begin to abduct the shoulder, so just bringing your arm out to the side, and then slowly, slowly adduct, bringing it back behind you, and that will stretch it. So its action is going to abduct, bring the arm away just a little, and then behind. If that is too intense, do not do the movement, just stick with the massage of the muscle. Okay, and behind. And we'll do one more, nice and slow, out, and then back. And roll the shoulder. Make sure it's nice and relaxed. Shake out the fingers if they got tired. And then we're going to infraspinatus. So if supra was on top, infra's underneath, right? So below, I should say. So again, flat scapula, that triangle bone, find that spine, that bony ridge, go right underneath, and now this is a much broader space. You've got more real estate here. So you can explore, you can go all around the muscle here, in that indentation under the spine of the scapula, not the spine. And you can do some nice circles like we did before, just holding my arm in front so I can get there. Feels really good and really tender. I got some good spots there. So maybe I'll just find one and hold it and breathe. In goes the goodness and the nourishment and the healing energy and the oxygen, and out goes the tension and everything we don't need. Just breathe it out. And again, you can start moving the tissue in different ways. See if it's stuck any which way, and if it is, you can just hold it in that direction. That's lovely. And then we can add some active movement to this as well if you're able to tolerate more. If not, just stick with what we were doing right there. So one choice is to take your arm that's being worked at a 90-degree angle, the elbow's at a 90-degree angle and attached to your waist or as close as possible. And then you're just going to externally rotate and internally rotate. So you're still holding on to that infraspinatus. Find some good tender points, hold them, and do some of this nice rotation. Again, very, very slowly. You might prefer to bring your arm out as a goalpost and do it this way. This might even be a little more intense. So relaxing the shoulders down. Remember, don't let that working shoulder creep up. Both of them are down, and we're just going, we're stretching this way, internally rotating, and then we're contracting and shortening the muscle when we go back. It's a lateral rotator or an external rotator, infraspinatus. And back, slowly and breathing. If you like this, but it's a little too intense at the ends, just decrease the range of motion. That's all. You'll build it up over time. And when that's feeling good, roll the shoulders, shake it out, make sure your fingers are nice and relaxed. Sort of the caveat of self-massage is trying to make sure the rest of your body is relaxed while you're relaxing the targeted area, right? So then we have a muscle called Teres Minor. So now we know where that big scapula flat bone is, right? If you go right off of it, so you'll feel this external border where it ends, this side of the triangle, right? This line of the triangle. Go right off of it and you'll feel Teres Minor. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're not right on it, it's okay. You're gonna explore, you're gonna see where it feels good. It's not like, you know, one muscle is tight or achy or injured and all the tissue around it is perfectly fine and healthy. It all needs work, right? If there's an area, you wanna go all around it. So don't worry too much on the anatomy if you're not exactly on it. If it's feeling good, if it's helping, you're doing it right. So you can even explore up and down. We can go off Teres Minor. We can just explore up and down. There are tendons all along. Do some nice circles. Again, we can move the tissue every which way. Make sure it's mobile. We can hold a tender point and breathe. I see this big bruise on my arm. I just got out of the hospital a week ago. I had some emergency surgery, and so they stuck me a lot with the needles in this arm. So I just noticed I have some nice colors on camera. I posted a video about it if you're interested in hearing about my surgery, but I digress. So now we can do some active movement. And so you hold that area. Same thing. You can go internally, externally rotating this way or this way. This way might be a little more intense again. Or not. And of course, if any of the movement is too intense, just don't do it. And then you find a different spot and do it some more. Stretch and contract. Stretch and contract. If it's very tender, take this even slower. You can even go super snail speed. And up however that feels good. Great. And roll the shoulders and shake them out. The next one is a little tricky. It's called Subscapularis, and it's underneath the scapula. So it's actually, here's the scapula, it's in front, deeper into our bodies. So this is the scapula on my back, this is subscapularis on it right here. The way we access it is sort of through the back wall of the armpit. Now, do not go into your armpit. That is very dangerous. Stay away from that. Look at what I'm getting here. See, first of all, the back wall, we've got latissimus dorsi here, or lats. I'm sticking my thumb kind of in and pressing back. And to get a better grip, I'm just showing you here, but to get a better grip, if you internally rotate the arm, it'll soften and slacken, and then you can just sort of slide right in there, right? And press outward towards the back so that you're trying to bring the muscle to the scapula, pressing it into the scapula, if that makes sense. Again, if it's not precise, it is fine. Just don't go into your armpit. Don't go into any place dangerous. If it hurts, if you're feeling tingles, numbness, any pins in it, stop immediately. Just come on out. We're just getting muscle here. And if you want to be so bold, you can try using the 4 fingers. So again, back wall, right? And I'm just sort of sliding in. I'm going to internally rotate so that it slackens and I can get a good grip in there. See that? And then I can just hold it and relax, shoulders down, and breathe. You might sink in a little farther. You might not. If it's intense, back off. Probably should have told you you'll want short nails for this. Self-massage doesn't feel so good with long nails. And so of course with this we can also add the active movement if you're doing okay. All right, so we can again do rotation. Now this one does internal rotation, subscapularis does internal rotation. So now when we go out, that's the stretch. And this is the contraction. It's probably better to do it that way because you'll lose your grip on it if you start stretching up. So I would kind of keep it here. Internal, external. Remember to keep that elbow at your side so you're not doing something like this, that you're just getting that pure rotational movement. So I'm just holding it because it's pretty intense in there, but you could also do some little circles. You could also do up and down. You're not going to get all of the muscle because it goes way in, and few of us are, so we don't have tissue soft enough or muscle soft enough to actually get all the way in there. And that's fine. We just get what we can. Slowly come on out. It's intense. Go slow. You're getting advanced techniques today, so you'll be a good licensed self-massager. So roll your shoulders, shake them out, and then we'll just visit that one, not really rotator cuff muscle, but sometimes joins the group. So that's the biceps long head. Now, if you feel for the head of the humerus, or the greater tubercle rather, it's this bump on the outside. You've got a bump in the front. It's in between those two bumps. A bump, and in front. Again, if you're not anatomically accurate, it's okay. Just start massaging the front of the shoulder. See where it feels tender, see where it feels tight. Just do some circles. And you can even take it down the biceps. You can start squeezing, nice big muscle group. So as long as we're doing the tendon, might as well do the muscle, right? You can use your thumb, move it up, down, and all around. You might feel yourself flick over the tendon, kind of spring over it. Kind of a weird feeling, but you can do that if you want. Kind of mobilizes it. And then we can add active. So if you just hold that tendon and bring your arm up, so shoulder flexion, and then shoulder extension behind. Up, behind. To intensify that, if that's not enough, you can turn the arm prone, turn the forearm prone, and go back like that, see? Palm to the back. So palm up in front, palm towards the back, behind. We can also do elbow flexion. So maybe even just grab a nice chunk of the biceps there, and we can go extend the elbow and flex. Slowly extend because that's the stretch. Hold your grip on that tissue so you get a nice stretch. And bend. And just some squeezes to finish off like we did before. Deltoids, biceps, upper traps. Feel so much more relaxed. Love it. Roll the shoulders. Relax them down, shake out. I love this feeling because you can really notice the difference between the shoulder you worked and the one you didn't, right? You're sitting there like, I don't know, my right shoulder now feels like it's about a foot lower than my left shoulder. It's heavier, it's more relaxed, it's much happier. The whole thing is just sort of tingling in a good way. So, go ahead and do the other side if you'd like. But hopefully this helped you maybe identify an area that needs work for you, or it's just a great thing to do if you're, hunched over a desk, playing sports, doing anything that's irritating the rotator cuff. This is a great way to prevent injury and keep it healthy. I hope you liked this. If you did, like the video, subscribe, and click that notifications bell because I've got a lot of stuff on the way and you don't want to miss out. Comment below. Let me know your story. Let me know how this worked for you and tell me what you want to see. Thanks so much. I'll see you later.